What is going on, everyone? Welcome back to Kitchen Table TCG. My name is Louie. I hope you're having yourself a fantastic day. Today we're going to talk about non-physical TCG businesses. We're going to give you some ideas on how you can create a side hustle or a business around trading card games without having a physical store. We did our, I think, 4 or 5 business models that work with a physical store a couple videos ago. You can check that out. But today we're talking about those of you who don't want to take that plunge into owning a retail space, how you can still create a side hustle or business around your favorite card game, no matter what it is. This is gonna be a little bit of a long video. It's not gonna hit everything. This is what this video is not, though. This is not gonna be a video about investing in TCGs. This video is going to be about investing in you, investing in yourself, and investing in your time to create a business, whether that be a side hustle or a full-fledged business that will hopefully replace your income and that kind of thing. The idea here is to give you some ideas and to encourage you that you can do this. If you didn't know this, I'm doing this from my house because this is where Kitchen Table TCG really flourished and started. It was never meant, Kitchen Table TCG was never meant for me to own a retail location. It just kind of worked into that, and it's just kind of how that went. The idea here is that you don't need that. So it's not gonna be an all-encompassing video, but we are gonna get into it. You do not need a physical store to start a business in TCGs. That's the heart here. So here's a couple models. Number one, the most common thing, and where I started, actually, even before this channel, the most common way to do all this would be to sling singles, to sell Magic the Gathering, Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, whatever it is, singles. And that is certainly the most popular way and one of the longest history of ways that you can do this, and is probably the easiest to start, and is probably where most people will pick this up and move forward, is selling singles on TCG Player or eBay. Probably TCG Player is what I would recommend. It's far easier. And slinging singles is all about taking your time and finding sources, okay? Those are the two things you need. You don't need anything else. You need time to pack and ship and list, and then you need the opportunity to source your cards and whatever. So there's a couple of different ways you can do that. You can do it with arbitrage, like buying boxes as low as value as you can find and cracking them open and selling singles. That is the higher risk level of selling singles. Or you can buy collections. And I would vastly suggest to you, even though I want you to go be a Discord patron of mine and to buy product from me and to do the whole thing at a discount at wholesale prices, I would love to say that that is the best way to do this. But by far the best way to sell singles is buying collections. So you can buy collections on Facebook yard sale. You can do Goodwill collections. You can buy eBay bulk lots. I wouldn't really recommend that. But there's a lot of ways that you can figure out how to source your own collection buying that then you process and list on TCG Player. Your best bet for that is always going to be Facebook Marketplace and that kind of thing, or buying cards at, from your friends or from your community and that kind of stuff. Now, if you want a more consistent way to get singles, that would be going the distribution route of buying cards from a source that gets it from distribution. Now, there's different rules for distribution. I'm not sure what has changed, but regardless of what the new account rules are for distribution, there's a million opportunities for you to get boxes at wholesale rates. A lot of people, myself included, have supporting channels that do that. You can be a Discord member of mine and pay for the Gold Wizard tier. You can buy boxes at distro costs. That is a way to do this, but just know it's not as flashy and as great as you think it is. Distro cost is very often expensive still, and to break even or make a profit after the TCG Player fees is still a lot of work and is very difficult. So it's not as easy as flipping the switch, although it is a good, consistent way to get cards, to get product, and to get started. So here's the pros for this. Number one, you get to do it from home. You don't need a big space. I shipped out in the pandemic thousands of orders from this table. Myself, thousands of orders shipped out on TCG Player while I was watching a movie on the TV that's right behind the camera. You can do it from home. It doesn't require a ton of space. It doesn't require a ton of environment. It doesn't require a warehouse. You can do it. The cons, though, is it is incredibly tedious. And oftentimes the profit margins are very low, 15% and a lot of effort, 15-20%, especially if you're cracking open boxes. Sometimes you'll even lose money. So the cons are that it's very tedious. It's a lot of time to work, and it's low profit to start. But as you get better at buying collections, and as you get better at sourcing, and you grow, and your connections grow, and whatever, that kind of thing goes a lot better, and then your profits get better. So it's tedious and low profit to start. But here's a suggestion if you're going to do this. To start off, use your current product. Use your current commander decks. Use your current old things that you no longer use. Just give it a start, and then you don't have to put in any capital to it. You can just kind of start out by selling what you already have. That's how I started my TCG player account. That's how I started and got to seller level 4 was the first big goal there. And that's a great opportunity for you to do that. So slinging singles, by far the #1 model. Number 2, and this is one that I think will become more and more impactful, only more impactful in the future than it is now, and it's already a huge thing. And that would be to be a personality. This would be like creating a YouTube channel. This would be creating like a Whatnot account, or essentially what you're doing is building a clientele or a customer base via having some sort of, channel. And this is what I did as my secondary thing, right? I started out as selling singles, and then I started the YouTube channel, and that kind of grew to the main primary focus of my life, I guess. Not really my life. My kids would be the primary focus of my life, but the primary focus of my business is growing the YouTube channel and growing my audience. And you can do that too. This is so important. The best part about YouTube, and the best part about Whatnot, and the best part about the internet in 2024 is that all of us have the same access to everything. We all have the access to it. You can also make videos, you can create content, and you can create a following that follows you, and that then becomes a client, a customer of yours. And you can monetize this with Whatnot, with eBay Live, with TikTok selling things. There's a ton of people who are already doing this. And you can do it too. And that's what I want you to understand. The #1 best resource in our whole world is eyeballs on videos right now. And so if you can figure out a way to create a business around that, it's really strong and a really great opportunity. There's some pros to that. Obviously, you're creating a self-brand, which is really important. My brand is not just Magic the Gathering. It's not just sorcery. My brand and the people who follow me follow because I guess they like listening to me, and they sometimes like my takes, and it creates a brand of people who are connected to you. And that is more valuable, in my opinion, than any a website that can sell product. Anybody can sell product. Not everybody can be you. And so if you can create a self-brand, in my opinion, that is far better than figuring out the other stuff. And then, it's also fun and less tedious than shipping out singles and doing all the work that requires around that. There are a lot of cons to this. Obviously, you have to be the right person. You have to have the right personality. But listen, there's a lot of great personalities that are all different on YouTube. And so you can find a niche that works there for you. And there's a ton, the biggest con is there's a ton of competition, and it's going to take a lot of time and effort and energy to do. Cost up front is minimal. Most of the videos I do are with a phone. You can certainly do that on Whatnot and all that kind of stuff. But being a personality and starting off this kind of business venture, saying I'm going to create a YouTube channel or a Whatnot account and that kind of thing, and growing an audience, I think is a really, really great secondary option. Again, that doesn't require you to have a store or physical front. The third option, I think, if you're going to say I don't want a physical location, is to go to where people already are. And so the third option, I'm really excited about this one. This is one that I think has a lot of potential, is to do conventions and shows. and to bring the quote unquote retail to other people. So again, you're going to need a source for product, and that can either be, like I said, a Discord Patreon membership to me or somebody else or whatever, or you can again use your current product that you already have if you've been kind of collecting and investing over time, or another great source for product is just again buying collections, and you can actually buy collections at conventions and shows as well. And so you can create this kind of ecosystem where you go, and if you like traveling and that kind of stuff, this might be a really good option for you. A lot of those, if you don't have kids, going to places across the country, setting up a booth, paying the $300-$400, whatever it costs to do some of those cons, whether they're small or larger ones, and setting up a booth and selling stuff is a really good opportunity. A lot of people will pay more money than they would online at those places because they want it here, they want it now. And it's a great opportunity because I don't see a ton of Magic the Gathering products whenever I go to this stuff. So if you are a Magic the Gathering fan, I think there is a lot of opportunity, especially with Universes Beyond coming out and all the kind of more mainstream Magic stuff. Obviously, for Pokemon, there's a ton of people already doing this. But for Magic, I do think that there's some opportunity here. You don't have any overhead. You get some fun traveling. The biggest con is time and energy. But for some of you, that's not a con. Some of us have a ton of time and energy. I, for one, can't do this one because I don't have the time and energy to do everything else I do in addition to this. But I think it's a really great second opportunity. If you don't want to do the online thing, you can do physical retail still in a convention and that kind of stuff. So I think it's a great opportunity. The fourth thing, and this is the last one, this is a little bit of a new one maybe for some of you guys on the channel, especially if you come from the sorcery or magic background, but that is grading multipliers. And this is a really, really big thing in Pokemon. And that is people who will be buying singles with the sole purpose of grading them and getting the grading multiplier in a 10, PSA 10 or BGS 10 or whatever it is, in order to profit off of that. And this one is really, really interesting. It does require a ton of capital up front, and it is very risky. But the amount of money that I've heard of people making in this is insane, and they have zero overhead. They have zero commitment to building, a brand or relationship. They are just the people that are in those Facebook groups and are like, hey, I've got $70,000 to spend. You don't have to start off with that amount of money, whatever. But they're buying singles in volume. They're buying high, Pokemon alt arts, they're buying that kind of card, and then they are grading them and then flipping the graded cards either on eBay or in the, locally or whatever they're doing. They're flipping those cards and then buying the arbitrage of grading. So that's another opportunity that I see people doing from home. And listen, I think if you know what you're doing in that world, or if you can learn what you're doing in that world, I think there's a lot of opportunity in that side of that. So those are 4 models. There may be a lot more. I would love to hear in the comment section if you thought of some different ones that maybe I haven't. But now I want to give you 3 kind of a tidbit of advice as you pick one of those models. The first thing to do, in my opinion, would be to pick your game or niche, that you have to select something. Sorry, one of the negatives to the content side of working from home is people who start vacuuming upstairs when I'm making videos. Okay, so if you're gonna start this, one of the main things you have to do is you have to find your game or your niche. You have to niche down, as a common phrase in this world. And so you have to select something that you can put all of your time and your energy. You gotta get really, really good at one thing. So I think the most important part of this is to find a game that you love and that you really know really well. You have to almost be an expert in what you're doing in order to do this. And so find something that you really love. You can grow in the future. You can add a game or you can do whatever you want in the future. But right now you need to select the game that you're going to commit to and the model that you're going to commit to. If you try to do all of it at once, you're going to get bogged down. You're going to get overburdened. You're not going to be as good as you could. So focus and be laser focused on something for a little bit of time. We're going to talk about the time in the third point, but pick your game and niche down, I think is super, super, super important in this. And then the second part is to invest what you can. And don't overextend. Remember that this is not, in my opinion, unless you're a pro and you started tons of businesses before or whatever, My gut says that you need to invest what you can and not overspend. Don't try to be the biggest person on the block all at once. Don't try to go into this and win the market share and kind of stampede into things. Just start slow, invest the opportunities that you can. This is where I said, if you're going to do singles, start off by just selling some of your commander decks. Learn the rhythms, learn the ropes, learn the processes. If you're going to do videos and content, don't spend $5,000 on cameras. Start off by using your phone. Get good at it. Start and post regularly. The more consistent that you can be in whatever you try to do in this world is way more important than the amount of money that you spend in this. Remember, you're not investing in things, you're investing in yourself here. So it's mostly about your time and your commitment. That gets us to the third thing, and my challenge to you, if you're going to do this, would be to commit to 1 year of investing in yourself in whatever way that you're doing this. Commit to the bit. Don't expect to see results in 3 weeks or 4 weeks or a month and a half or 2 months. Give yourself a year to start seeing the fruits. If you're going to make content or do on whatnot, don't get discouraged if your first 10 videos only get 20 views or 5 views, or if nobody ever shows up to your live streams. Commit to things and give it the give it the good old college try, right? Really commit to 1 year, I think is really important. Remember, you're not investing in things. You're investing in you. This is so important. You have to invest in your own self and in your energy. You're not investing in a game. You're not investing in a specific model of something. You're investing in you and multiplying what is your time and using it to create something different. You're not investing in indie TCG. You're not investing in singles. You're investing in you. And the biggest thing that you can give is your time. So let me know what you think about this whole idea of starting a business. Again, you don't need a retail location. I can't tell you how important it is to understand that. It is 2024. Retail location does give you some benefit for sure, but there's a lot of cost on top of that benefit. We can get into that in a whole nother video. It gives you benefit, but there's a lot of cost up there and you don't need it to start. Maybe in the future, you know what I did, right? I started online and there was a time for me that it made sense to move into a local thing and it's worked well. Maybe in the future that's for you, but right now, maybe the best bet is to start something online and different. So let me know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. Again, if you want to join the Discord server, it is free to be a part of the Discord server. Come hang out, come chat. But if you do want to support the channel, you want access to that distribution cost on restock product, let me know in the Discord server. Become a gold wizard. Hopefully you have yourself a fantastic day. Be kind to the people around you. We'll see you again next video.